Hi, I'm Josh Gruss. I'm the CEO of Roundhill Music. Roundhill Music is an independent music publishing company and record label based in Nashville, Tennessee. We're about the sixth or seventh largest publisher in the country at this point. What is a music publisher? A music publisher is a partner for a songwriter. A music publisher will help a songwriter do a lot of the kind of things that a songwriter probably doesn't want to spend all their time doing. All that complex work around registering copyrights, around collecting royalties, about accounting to the songwriter, about licensing the music and exploiting the music in film, TV, ads, video games, getting their music placed on artists' records. Those are all the responsibilities of a music publisher, to really act as a songwriter's partner. They also act as an investor in the songwriter and will oftentimes end up owning a piece of the copyright in exchange for an advance or some sum of money that the songwriter will use to essentially live off of while they're out there doing their songwriting, doing their session work, and trying to get their songs out there in the world. What is a PRO? PRO is a performing rights organization. These are the groups that handle the monitoring and collection of any type of performance royalty. Here in the United States, we have two major performing rights organizations, ASCAP and BMI. These are both 100-year-old institutions, and these are the groups that songwriters turn to help do all that heavy lifting of how do you know when your song is broadcast on the radio? How do you know when your song is broadcast on TV? How do you know when your songs are being performed live or in a bar or restaurant? Well, these organizations are the ones that do all that monitoring, and they have a whole formula to sort of, at the end of the day, on a quarterly basis, pay you out for the performance of your songs within that category. It's a pretty complex ecosystem to be able to collect these royalties from around the world. So publishers will register the copyrights with all the societies around the world for performance rights, for mechanical rights. Oftentimes publishers will have a synchronization licensing team and help promote and exploit the music into film, TV, advertising, video games. Oftentimes publishers will have A&R staff to listen to the songs and really sit down with the songwriters, help them get their songs placed on artists' records. That's another really big role for a publisher, to be a good partner to the songwriter and to help lead those songs to success. How do we go about finding songwriters to work with? The way we do it typically is we're looking for a little less risky proposition. So we want to meet songwriters who have already had hits, who've already had a track record of success. Maybe they also have, a strong management team or something else that's helping them along, that they're in the right writing groups, that they have sessions with other top songwriters, and that they're going to come every day ready to work and ready to write. That drive is really important. It doesn't always have to be that they've already had a track record of success. Sometimes we're investing or betting on brand new songwriters, in which case they really have to demonstrate really strong songwriting ability and that extra amount of drive to get to that next level. Does a songwriter need to have a certain number of songs or a catalog before we start working with them? Every publisher is different, and Roundhill's style of partnering and investing in songwriters might be different from others. There's certainly many publishers who are ready to work with brand new songwriters who might not have a catalog at all, but they might see something within the songwriter that is worth partnering with. But Roundhill, because we have a lot of institutional investors who really want to do things in a low-risk way, for the type of investing where we're investing in a brand new songwriter, we really try to lower that risk by having that songwriter already have a catalog or something that they've started out with. I think to register songs and to be set up at all the societies, you need to have your own publishing set up to begin with. I do think that there are so many different ways to collect your publishing. You don't have to sell your copyrights or give away your copyrights. There are very low-cost ways to have someone just property manage your copyrights. They'll take a fee of maybe 5, 10, maybe 15% of the royalty income to do that property management of your copyrights, that administrative work. That's a great option if you want to really hold on to your copyrights yourself and do some of the heavy lifting on your own. I'm a songwriter as well and have a band called Rubicon. I'm not the best songwriter in the world. I typically need my bandmates' help in writing. I became a BMI member, so I'm a BMI songwriter, and of course I use Roundhill as my publishing company. My big claim to fame is we've had 1 top 40 active rock hit a few years ago, so we did have a Billboard charting song. Rubicon was lucky enough to have our songs placed in a few different television series, and that was in part thanks to the team at Roundhill who does sync placement. So it was great to have our music exposed that way, and when our music gets broadcast on those shows, still to this day, on all those reruns, we see that money show up in our checks from BMI. And so it's nice to have that extra exposure and extra money from having had those songs placed in a TV show. What advice would I give to a new songwriter starting out? I would say work on your craft, write and don't get discouraged. Don't work on that same song for days and days and days. You know, if it's not working, move on to another one. Just keep writing and collaborate. Most hit songs, I would say 99% of them are not written by just one person. They're written in collaboration with other songwriters. And by collaborating, you can learn from other songwriters. You can be in the room and have that additional firepower of other songwriters to take your song to that next level. And if you're here in Nashville, there's songwriters that do this all day long. They just have sessions with other songwriters from morning till evening, and they write and they demo and they keep doing it until they get some success. And that's really how it's done as a songwriter. You just keep cracking at it, and one day, hopefully, you'll have a hit song out of it.